Welcome, everybody. This is Brett Rice from Core Vision Financial Group, coming to you with another episode of our Core Vision Stories, the series where we, introduce ourselves and try to get a little more information out there about who we are and, how we came to be Core Vision and, just sharing a little bit of our story. Today, we're going to be talking with Jennie Claxton. Beau Browning and Jason Pike are here as well to talk about how Beau and Jason had gotten started in the financial services industry, and as they were growing their business, they came to a point to where they were like, hey, we really need to get some help in here to help us, run more efficiently and have a more cohesive unit here in the office. So today what they're going to do is they're going to talk about how, they were introduced to Jennie and the whole process of Jennie coming on board. And, this story right here is originally a conversation Jason Pike and I had that kind of led to this whole idea of having these videos about, how did how did each individual piece come together, and, telling that story to kind of, get it out there for everybody so everybody knows our story. It's a story that needs to be told, because it's helped define who we are. So Jennie, why don't you real quick just talk about, when you met Beau and Jason and when you came on board working here at Core Vision. How did you know these guys?
Sure. So I had met them a couple times prior before coming on board to work for them, just through some social functions in town and them coming to our house. So I knew them a little bit that way. And then August 2013 is when I came to interview with them. And the pivotal moment for me was in the interview, honestly. I was coming off about 2 years of staying home with my child who was fighting a life-threatening illness, and I was looking for some sort of normalcy. So I wanted to go back to work part-time, and when I was in the interview with them, they both just kept stressing about how family is important and that they would be flexible for anything that we would need to do for doctor's appointments and whatnot. And so right then and there, I was like, yep, this is it. These are the guys I'm going to go for, and this is the team that's going to support me. So the rest is history.
You did not know what kind of ride you were in for.
So the interview was very professional. Then comes day one.
So we didn't have enough desks in our office on day one. I was like, Jennie, you can take my desk and I'll go sit on the couch and Aaron work on my laptop. So,
and that's one of the things when we originally talked about this. There's all these funny stories about how on days when Jennie was in the office, somebody'd have to sit on the couch, or somebody'd have to not be in the office, or when there was a meeting in the office, Jennie would have to go find somewhere else to sit. And there's all these funny stories, that it kind of gets them to where they're at today, because you start talking about just all of three of them sitting in that office, really building that bond and really getting to know each other. And then, 7 years later, having all of these great stories to look back on and laugh about, how their offices were furnished and how they didn't have conference rooms and all of these things that, now looking back are super great stories.
Yeah, when I said couch, it was a futon. Our office was like the size of a Cracker Jack box. But no, we were very grateful for the Blue River Community Foundation, which Jason and I kind of hold up our operations there for maybe 3 or 4 years. And we also, I think at the beginning, before we brought Jennie in, we had heard business coaches and people tell us for a long time, you need an assistant before you can afford one. And that concept just wasn't resonating with us at first, and eventually we bit the bullet and decided we need someone to create processes and systems and efficiencies in here that we just can't do on our own. We're a couple of advisors with sales backgrounds, and that's what we were out doing, talking to people and trying to help their financial situation, and forgetting sometimes that we operate a business and we need to have some processes in place to push that business through.
Yeah, it was pretty quick also. we weren't in the Cracker Jack box for a long time. We didn't force her into that situation for an extended number of years. So, soon after that, we actually were able to, it almost is one of those things when I think back on it, it kind of forced us to move a little, to move to that next step and take the next step and actually get a little bit bigger of an office and, with a conference room and things like that. And, it's, when I look back on it, it was, right out of the gate, she probably had to scan, she basically made her office paperless and spent countless hours scanning files to upload, and things of that nature. From that to, we were like, hey, all of a sudden we need QuickBooks and we need payroll and we need all these things that we didn't have to worry about before, and
a CRM
and a CRM management system, and I just think back to all these things that Jennie just kind of took over and just built out and all these systems, and it really helped us I guess I always think that we would have ended up kind of where we're at now, but we wouldn't have ended up where we're at by now. It would have taken countless more years for Beau and I to figure out all these things ourselves, and as well as try to grow a business, and it was just great to we got lucky is what we did, because we didn't, a lot of people have to go through and they have turnover, and then you have to find somebody, and then you have to interview them, and you have to keep your business going during all this, and then you have to train them, and just from someone who's easily coachable, who doesn't need micromanaged, she may go on a few extra vacations a year and run out of days quicker, but we're happy she gets to do that. So it makes it nice, to have that person in your office, and really just kind of is the glue that kind of holds everybody together.
You mentioned the word lucky. It really was at the beginning, just by chance. I was having a conversation with Jennie's brother-in-law, Brady. He had just mentioned, I think I had said, Jason and I are in the process of maybe starting to throw something out there, about hiring somebody. And he just in passing mentioned, well, maybe you should talk to Jennie. She was in the workforce, doing a lot of similar things to that, then has been out of the workforce for a little while with Sophie. And I guess the rest is history. We basically set an appointment for her to come in, and she was the only person we needed to interview.
Although you didn't make it seem like that.
we had to at least seem like we were
interviewing
a lot of people.
Yeah, we had, she comes in like super dressed up, like full blown like women's suit, and I'm just one of the
power suit.
Yeah, just like power suiting it up, and then we go into one of the makeshift conference rooms we had that had the fold out 8-foot tables with the folding metal chairs, and she had to just been like, holy cow, what are we doing? So it was it was really kind of a relief that when we called her to offer her the job, that she actually accepted it. So,
she wasn't like, no, I've seen your offer. Yeah, it's fine.
I think at one point it actually snowed inside the window that she was sitting next to, and countless space heaters and stuff like that.
Well, and I think Beau touched on this just briefly, but in our original conversation, Jason, I think you just said something about it too, is that you would have got here eventually, but bringing Jennie on board accelerated that.
Yeah.
I know when you and I had this first conversation, you were like, she just took us to another level, because she, organized everything and just picked up the ball and ran with it and took all this stuff off your guys' plate so you could then focus on clients and getting additional business and all of that stuff. So, when you and I were having that original conversation, that was like, we were like, this is a story that has to be told, right? This is something we want people to know, that this is where we came from. This is what started it, right? This is the snowball. This is what got it going. And I think it's great that 7 years later, looking back, you guys laugh about this and you're like, I can't believe Jennie accepted the job. And then now you probably say him, you're like, I don't know how we'd ever operate without Jennie.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what I mean?
Well, think about dumb luck or strategy. I'll say it's strategy. We didn't have QuickBooks or a CRM. Now, we had talked about CRM, and we did strategically make the decision, let's bring somebody on so they know the system that we can implement, and we don't have to know it. That was one of the best things that we did. And QuickBooks the same way. You operate it every single day, and basically allows us to not have to even think about it. that doesn't have to be part of our day to day, where it's her part of, it's part of her day to day. So, been super lucky.
So, Jenny, anything else you want to talk about in your video here? This is your chance, your moment to shine here in the light.
All I have to say is this is why it's fun to come to work every day. This is what we do. We laugh, we get work done, but we also laugh, and that's couldn't ask for anything better than that. So.
But you mentioned kind of just the camaraderie and the culture in the office, and that adds to it. We all are extremely unique and different individuals, but when we're together, it clicks. We have a lot of fun together. We get a lot of work done together. And I can't say, I say it for both of us, for Brent as well. We're just so blessed that things have transpired the way they did, and we have the staff and team members that we do. We're really, really fortunate.
So again, Brett Rice from Core Vision Financial Group. We go through the Core Vision stories today. We had Jenny, Beau, and Jason in here telling the story about how the three of them got together early on, the Browning Pike financial story as it rolls up into the Core Vision story. So thanks for watching.
The OGs.